Hey Claire. Hey
How are
sweetheart.
you?
Cool. Cool. Good morning in the
Mm.
evening. As I always say, good morning, and boom. I'm very happy to meet you. I
Mm,
just very much enjoyed sharing with you a couple of things. And
mm,
here is in a way, when I met you, here was directly the impulse to connect with you in order to share, because you mentioned you're a therapist, in order just to share a therapist who is in a way also in this non-dual community, whatever this means.
mm,
Um, Actually, I don't see a community, but in a way, our stories are meeting here on this point.
mm, mm.
And I will put the point as a so-called non-duality, no separation. I simply say no separation,
Mm.
just this, whatever this
Yeah.
means. And I'm curious about uh, how it was. I already knew that with me it was the same, like in a way, the suffering was the driving force. Just to, just
Mm,
to, for me, it was definitely the suffering to just, if I say to experience the no separation is wrong. It's not an experiencing of no separation, but just to talk about this or just to open up and to share about this, you know? So in a way I can say it was a suffering. I also heard that you also suffered quite a lot. And also how did it played out with you and also like this therapeutic part and
mm.
also with this
Yeah.
non-duality. Just feel free to share however you want.
Yeah.
I'm just, yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I think it's really, really vulnerable talking about the suffering, because in non-duality, it can be quite tempting to talk about things conceptually and to say everything is as it is. There's no me, there's no self. Everything is perfection. It's true. I'm not saying that. I love your
I'll
tag.
go. Just go. Then though you don't have to. Yeah, yeah.
None of these things are wrong.
I just
Um,
would love you to boom out exactly as you are without here. There is no non-dual police, nothing. I'm completely open for everything. Yeah.
oh, the non-dual, please.
No,
Well,
no,
there's
no.
well that's it really, isn't it? Because there's no police, but then there are people who do get who do appear to suffer because of things that you say about suffering, ironically. So, I think as you say, let's just talk honestly, let's talk openly because people watch this because they're curious already. And actually, if people are challenged by something, then that's in this community, that's a really positive thing.
A beautiful sweetheart. You know what's funny? I always say it. So for me, it never feels like this is a recording and people are going to see this. But of course, this is just a beautiful story. For me, it's just like really a monologue. It's just monologue. And at the same time, the beauty is really like that this is a Zoom and then posting on a YouTube channel and people are watching this and maybe commenting this. Wow, it's
Oh God.
amazing. But in the directness of this is just a monologue right now, just following my highest excitement. And
Mm.
this is like, yeah, just feel free to share.
Mm. Well, the sensations. I sort of feel what. Let's go back to the idea of suffering and the kind of what's
Yeah,
going on sensationally, because I think I feel things in my chest and my stomach. So and that's a very human. I don't think there's ever going to be an end to that. You're always going to have situations that feel unnerving or unfamiliar. I
what
think you don't know
everything can pop up. Everything. Yeah.
what. And it's sort of like you don't want to censor that. You want to just go with that. You want to sort of just go with whatever that is. But then there's that human instinct in you that's, okay, I've got this sensation, I better stop. And I think that's what then, like you say, you kind of just boom, just go for the monologue. Every time you have that sensation in your chest or whatever, there is that kind of subtle thing of you saying, "Oh, just watch yourself," because like you say, this is being recorded. So that I don't think that's going to go away. There's that sort of conscientiousness that is in our society, like just be sort of self-aware. So there is the monologue, but then at the same time as the monologue, there's also the I don't think it's censoring oneself, but there's also kind of something that is aware of what you're saying at the same time as you're saying
So
it.
it's in a way controlling the show. Controlling the show. Oh,
I mean, who is the one speaking, you know? Because there's the sort of the energy that the word that where the words are coming from. You know, there's this that, I don't know, it's just nonsense, it's energy, it's creativity. But then there's also kind of there's something else here as well. There's the mind, and they seem to work in harmony. You know, the mind is sort of checking the energy. The mind is kind of flowing with the energy as well. It's sort of putting words to it and saying, oh, is that word quite right? You know, I think we need the mind. That's another non-duality thing that pisses me off. Everyone, you know, there's real this dismissal of the mind and the thinking. And, you know, we need that because otherwise we're just going to, you know, that's really valuable in our society. We, at least now, when we were first, you know, created or whatever, when the first humans were around, I don't think we did need the mind, because we could sort of communicate, you know, physically. We could sort of point at things. We communicated with our feelings. But now we've evolved to the point we're at now. Actually, it's lovely to have a mind, and it's lovely that I'm thinking, oh, what's Rosa thinking? You know, I think we're so incredibly intelligent. It just boggles my mind completely that we can be having this conversation, but I can be thinking about this conversation as we're having it. You know, how clever are we, all of us?
let me, yeah, beautiful sweetheart. It's in a way like you are, like this is this observer position, being aware of what's going on, emotions, ideas. Like it's like all encompassing, so to say. It's all already viewed. Do I get you right?
Yeah, it's the emotions and the thinking at the same time. Yeah.
Everything. It's everything. It's everything already.
Mhm.
And um, maybe just to put it, I was actually like this now booming aliveness, as I love to say. Like you say, isn't it amazing? Yeah, it's unbelievable. And this was the scary part here. I was really
Yeah.
afraid of life. I was afraid of myself. And when those fear arose, I thought it's wrong. So I tried to avoid it, to escape it, you know? So no matter what came up in this beautiful life, me and my life, which in a way caused stress, fear, a bad
Mm.
emotion. I really thought, like I was taught to just change it. No, it's not good. Avoid it. And this was in a way how I tried it. I thought there is a right way to deal with life and yeah, a loser way. So I felt like a loser.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And then in a way I saw, okay, everything is it already. And then it was not anymore. I had no issue anymore with overthinking the thoughts, bad feelings, emotions. So everything which was uh, labeled as wrong, is bad, dropped. It wasn't anymore. Just like a change of perspective, you can say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, it's beautiful, Rosa, because it's actually that's how we're born, isn't it? You know, something happens with our parents or our culture where we're told we're bad or wrong, or there's that sort of when you're booming out, you know, as kids do, you're told you're being too loud. You know, don't say that, that's rude. That's a really English thing, you know, you're being impolite. So that was my big one. You know, you can't boom out in case you say something rude, you know. So there's that automatic, and that's what I was saying about with the mind, there's that automatic restriction on the feelings. But if you look at little children, the way they communicate is purely with their feelings,
yeah,
and they're just so lovely and sweet. You know, they're
totally.
compassionate,
Sweetheart, I
empathetic.
actually really feel like after I simply allowed everything to be as it is, I'm
Yeah.
completely myself. There is simply here no performance happening. No, it's I'm always like this. And everything is appearing, crying, sadness, everything. It's full on booming like a
Yeah.
child, really
Exactly. Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
child. It's exactly
Yeah. And thank God for that, Rosa, because you know, like how many people stay stuck, and it's odd, really, because they stay stuck as children, but not the children that they actually originally were. They stay stuck as the children who were
yeah,
told there was something wrong with them. So to get back to that child before
yeah.
there was anything wrong with you, you know, you cry and you laugh and you express yourself, and everyone is okay with that around you. Like if you've got friends who are, and that's the thing, I suppose, in our society, that's still a, you know, if someone cries and
But
anything,
not
oh, you'll
only,
run
not
away.
sweeter, not
But not.
only, sorry for interrupting, not only because of the others, Here, my example is the best example. I, in a way, labeled myself like this. My wonderful parents. I was playing professionally tennis when I was young and I was booming. I was the happiest child ever. And then simply it was the puberty. I got in trouble with myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything was beautiful. All the circumstances, everything was perfect. When it's,
Yeah.
I simply produced problems because there was me in my life and I couldn't
Yeah.
understand why. What is happening here? What the fuck is
Yeah.
happening here? Everything is so beautiful. The best parent, sister, everything. And then this.
Well, it wasn't their fault because you just absorbed a message and it's not, it's your voice and it's the voice in your head, isn't
Yeah,
it? It's
exactly.
not, no one's doing anything bad. And it's amazing because actually the things people do in your lives, yeah, they can be bad, but the things you do to yourself are 10 times worse.
Yeah.
That's my
It's in a
experience.
way always about me, right? It's always about me. I'm the center of the universe. Like just to put it like this. And that's why I love to say, so the big relief, like this therapeutic aspect here. Let's go into the
Mm,
ultimate therapy I experienced was just to see that everything is allowed already, of course, because it is,
mm,
and that there is no me and life. There is just life. And this is fucking scary, believe me. I was kind
yeah,
of, oh, this was really like
yeah,
free fall. It was
yeah,
hard.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's non-duality, I
Yeah,
think, is what you're
not
talking
two,
about.
not two, no
Yeah.
separation. And this is fucking scary because there is really nowhere to land. It's just what is. Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm. And it
Yeah,
takes a lot of courage because what you've got to do is you've got to face the feelings of being that small person, of
yeah, this
being,
is exactly, this was exactly here the praxis, the therapy. I just couldn't, this was my highest excitement, just to face the fear, to face everything exactly as it is. This was, oh my gosh, this was so confronting,
yeah.
really.
But you've got to be careful actually, because not everyone can do that. And this is where the therapy comes into it. Because I think you must have got to a point, and I don't know that much about your story, but you must have got to a point where it felt safe for you to just say fuck it and confront whatever is, let all of
I actually, beautiful, beautiful that you're mentioning this. I had support. So the message, I heard the message from a friend, and it happened that he simply was there on my side. Without him, he was like, and I noticed he was in a way helping a lot of people, calling himself a teacher. He was there for everyone who was open to do this. There are a lot of people who are not able to open up, but because it's quite brutal just to face what is. And the people who were open, he actually took them by the hand like a child and went with them. And this is beautiful. This is beautiful. And this is exactly like I took his hand. Yeah, I did. I did. I wanted help, and there he was. And I took it until I didn't anymore want his hand. I
exactly.
just, yeah, yeah, beautiful.
Michael Markham speaks so well about this. I don't know if you follow his posts, but he talks a lot about he kind of leads you to the end of a cliff with his words,
Okay.
and then it's like you've
I
got
know
to
Michael, I love him, but I'm not
yeah.
I'm not following a lot on Facebook, sweetheart. But he has also a channel. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I notice you're not in many of the groups on Facebook, which is maybe a good thing because they do take up a lot of time. But yeah, he talks a lot about that, exactly as you've said, you lead someone by the hand. And he also talks about the real brutality that comes with the
Mhm.
guru or whatever you want to call a teacher, because at some point, you're going to be disillusioned by them. At some point my clients are going to hate me. They're going to be really angry with me because they're going to realize that, they're going to feel fobbed off. They're going to feel led up the garden path. They're going to feel like, oh, well, Claire said she had the answers. I never said I did. But they project the fact that they
Yeah.
think I have the answers. And then there comes a point where they're like, oh, I don't actually need therapy. What am I paying her for? Why am I coming here every week?
Beautiful.
There's the anger's not real anger. It's sort of that. So it's that kind of like individuation with your parents. You have to
Sweetheart,
sort of push it
wait
away.
a sec. Wait a sec. I have a question. Sorry for interrupting
No,
again.
no.
Um, when I was with this friend who called himself a teacher, And he has a lot of people who simply, they were so happy to have him, like I was. And it was really like he was booming, also getting very famous, and a lot, even more and more and more. And I noticed because he offered me just to be in the meetings, the retreats. I just noticed this was, I loved everything until I didn't, of course. It was done. But because I couldn't see anymore who is helping whom, for me, it's like, as long as you want to help and you're seeing someone who needs help, you're helping yourself, without judgment. But for me, it was just simply not playing out like this. And the thing I saw, which was quite hard to see, which it was to see this addiction. I simply saw the
Yeah. Oh
people
God, yeah.
getting totally addicted to him. I was
Yeah.
like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is going on here? And this was also a thing
Yeah.
which I was very
Yeah.
open to him. And I said this to him. And then I noticed how he also in the retreat said, okay, sweetheart, to the ladies and gents who were like, already 2 years, like in asking the same questions or the same, or just like, oh shit, what a shit, and blah blah. And then, it's time now to say goodbye in a way. He tried in a way. He
Mhm.
tried to, but it's hard. It's so, what is this itchy gitchy thing there?
You don't want to let go. It's so nice to attach to people and to think someone else has the answer. It's so
Totally.
nice.
Full,
Like being a child.
beautiful, beautiful, full on, pure, booming, innocent neediness. So needy. Oh, wow. And this was very much triggering me. Like, oh my gosh, come on. Come on. You're not needy, I simply couldn't see. You're just pretending to be needy. Let's face it. Let's face it. You're just pretending. And then,
Yeah.
I got in touch with some of those characters because we knew each other from the meetings. And then with two, I got more in touch and I just thought, oh my gosh, they're not faking it. They're simply needing this. There is no escape. They really need just this. It, I would put it like this: full on bullshitting yourself. Full on. Full
Well,
on.
what do you mean by that? Do you mean the
Like,
people who were helping
yeah,
or were
yeah.
saying
The
they were
people who
helping?
simply claim to need him and on
Oh
going
yeah.
and just
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
saying, oh
Yeah.
shit, I feel so bad. And
Oh
after
God, yeah.
after for 2 years listening the whole time, he is not saying anything new. It's what it is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
fucking pain in the ass, man. So what do you expect to hear after 2 years? So for me, it was kind of, you're bullshitting yourself. You just, but it's, and then I saw the innocence. It's the way it is. It's just how the cookie crumbles. Not in a way, just being stuck in this situation, like always being in this. I don't know. I don't know. When I saw this, I could only see the perfection, and the whole thing. I was out of the community completely. I was not anymore in touch with them because it did not resonate. For me, it was like this, how to say, a lot of attachment business. Let's put it like this.
Yeah.
It's business,
Yeah.
but everything is business. I also have to earn money in order. I cannot live from air and love. Let's be honest. So we can say everything is business. And there is here every judgment dropped. There is no judgment anymore. Teacher and addiction and helpers and neediness. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It plays
Yeah.
out as it plays out,
Well,
sweetheart.
we don't really know the reason for that. I often think that people who say they need help, like I was saying to myself I needed help, and but this by saying that over and over and over again, I provided help. Maybe the universe or the world needs to need help in order to give help, or there's some sort of strange game going on here where if you sort of ask for something, it's provided. So and Michael again, I don't mean to quote him again, but well, I do, but
Oh,
he
please do,
talks.
please do. Michael's
I've got my
lovely.
favorites.
Michael, sweetheart, we love you. Michael Markham, right? Michael Markham.
Well, I don't know the other one. I'm sure everyone's lovely, but the what I was with the oh God, I've lost my train of thought now. I've got distracted. We were talking about the helping and the sort of helping. That's right. The
Yeah.
what the journey you've been through, like your upbringing, your past, the suffering we were talking about, all the challenges you've experienced, that has given me the ability to be a therapist. That's given me the ability to see the world the way I see it now, to talk to you right now, to share that with other people. And it's, the most fantastic, beautiful thing imaginable. So you can't say, oh, there's something wrong with suffering, there's something wrong with being in that state.
No, 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 no,
You
no.
can't say these people who are going to this person for help there's nothing wrong with that. Like you
No,
say,
it's
it's happening,
beautiful.
but
It's beautiful.
we
It's
don't
just
know why.
I just see a beautiful dance like you and me now. We're beautifully dancing together here in this chat. Joyfully just I'm just following my highest excitement. You're playing with me, and I thank you for this. There is no more or less about this. And it's exactly like with being a therapist or me working is managing office, it's just perfection already. And there is no in a way there are preferences maybe, you know, just preferences innocently playing out. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Well, there are preferences because saying that there's, with suffering, that's not a preference. We don't want there to be suffering. That's something that we do not want. It's not a good thing. And so we naturally are going to say, okay, well, what's the solution? I think preferences are always going to be there as
Yeah,
part of the bigger whole. We can't kind of gloss over the fact that we prefer some things and don't like other things. I think that's another thing non-duality can unfortunately pushes into the idea that we have to accept
yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or by accept, I mean like everything, or put up with everything, like an abusive relationship. Oh, yeah, but he's so wonderful. Oh, but he's love. No, if he's being an asshole,
Yeah,
kick him out.
yeah,
You need to
totally,
accept that is
totally.
duality is part of non-duality.
Yeah, but you
So,
know what I love to say, like I can, like as I said, I can only see the perfection when this thing is like misunderstood. Yeah, let's say that someone is attracted to non-duality and seeing, well, it's perfect already. Oh, okay, it's perfect already staying with this guy who is abusing me, you know? So already misunderstood, right? Boom, that's it.
mm,
I,
mm,
I tend to say life makes no mistakes.
mm,
And
mm,
then it
mm.
may simply click. Or maybe your partner on the Zoom is going to say to you, "What? Of course not. You're misunderstanding this. Of course, go and try to comfort yourself and get rid of this asshole." Or
Mhm,
not. And
mhm.
this is in a way, this is the beauty, the brutality of what is already. There is no way to understand or misunderstand something, you know? That's it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then it
Yeah.
gets very, very, very simple and all encompassing, you know. There is just this okay. And the biggest struggle, I want to change this here. It's not okay as it is. The biggest struggle, no matter, that's it already. That's it
Yeah,
already.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can go into I feel there is a great force, life force, energy, always in the direction of perfection, of how it should be.
Oh yeah.
No matter, it doesn't mean that it's out of suffering into healing. No, 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 no. It can be also like getting cancer, maybe dying. It's just like, there is just this I don't know how to say. It's playing out so beautifully, and I don't know it, of course, but it's just like it's how
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
seen
yeah.
here, and
Yeah,
oh, the
yeah,
way it's coming out here, the expression is like in a way just it's not about anything. It's not about something. We're not talking about something. It's just
yeah.
life. It's life living itself
Mm-hmm.
perfectly already, or saying shitty already. It doesn't matter how you put it. Like it's going beyond any opposite. There is
Yeah.
simply no, wrong and right. And this is in a way this. what to say. Yeah.
What to say? Well, that's exactly, yeah, what to say.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything. It's everything. Like how Emerson, I love Emerson,
Oh,
Emmy.
right. I saw the video with
Uh,
Sam.
I like him like he's now going in a way in the between the opposites, like when we are melting. There is simply no opposite anymore, and not even this. And there is, of course, also no between. We can say, well, just another beautiful idea, the in between. What is this? So, yeah, the love in this inescapability, no escape of what is already.
No escape. No,
And
no.
this is freedom. This is beyond the concept of freedom. This is not the freedom for me.
Mm,
It's just like, yeah, like free fall. Yeah. And
absolutely.
and the people doesn't like it. They don't like it. They don't like it
No,
because
because
there
it
is
feels
this loss of
uncomfortable.
control, right?
It feels unfamiliar.
And as a how are you like as a therapist? In a way, there is the people come and they want help. They simply expect you to know how the cookie crumbles. They expect you to guide them.
Mm,
Otherwise, there wouldn't be a resonance. And
mm,
in a way, how do you want to share what's
about
coming up? Well, no matter.
expectation. It's very easy to get pulled into a story with people, especially when there's that real urge for help. You've got to be incredibly detached. We talk about boundaries. Like I know there aren't really boundaries, but in therapy there are.
Yeah,
And by that I mean someone's story doesn't affect how I
yeah,
feel, or
yeah.
it doesn't
Otherwise, you
affect
couldn't do
my
this. You couldn't do this
well-being.
if it's affecting you. Yeah, it's impossible.
And I say affecting, but obviously I feel emotions. If someone tells me something very sad, I'm a human, I will empathize and feel sad.
Yeah,
But it doesn't shake my sense of self,
yeah,
that ability to kind of stay neutral, to stay the observer. That I can't lose that.
yeah,
Being a therapist is quite a good profession for sort of, actually having that practice, because you can't get caught up in someone
yeah,
else's self. You've got to have that total reliance on your own authority. Because also they're relying on you to be the authority, and you need to have totally got that sort of separation. Um, but it's sort of dualistic. It's ironic because it's the separation, but at the same time, it's the total
yeah,
connection.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I know you
yeah, yeah.
understand.
Yeah, it's always like complete contradiction already. It's contradicting itself the whole time. Yeah, totally. Yeah,
So yeah, I don't it's but then sometimes every so often there's that pull, and I think all therapists maybe hear it, like that siren call, that help me, help me, help me. There was a client I saw today who I couldn't help. We were talking earlier about some people, just they're not ready for what
yeah,
they're just so
yeah,
not, actually quite fragmented, quite
yeah,
unstable. They need to
yeah,
have medication.
yeah.
Um,
I
they
know
can't.
it.
Yes,
I
and
know it.
the kind of therapy I do, I can't.
Yeah,
I'm not going to sit there and give them worksheets to go through and
yeah,
question and fill in. And I don't even think they'd be ready for that. I think it was psychiatric care they needed. It was medication.
yeah,
But there's still a part of me that you sort of there's that pull, towards people who are suffering.
yeah,
But that's the pull towards, because you have that empathy with that person who's suffering. You kind of want to make that better, but you've got to remember that that's not that's separate. That's not anything that you need to fix. That's what it is. It's how it is. So it's almost like you keep jumping into the pool, but then you get lost in there with all the pain, and you've got to pull yourself back out again and sort of stay out of that. Because I know it
beautiful.
sounds like it sounds empathetic and compassionate to jump into that pool, but actually it's not. It's arrogant, because you're then saying, oh, that person needs help, and that's coming, like you say, that's when you see someone as damaged or broken, and you see someone as not already whole, and you can't do that. You've got to have that separation to see them as already whole.
Here, here a big. I totally get you, sweetheart. I actually also saw those people like with like being on medication, and just to see how, in a way, they're just it's yeah, what to say, it's not leading anywhere, you know. They're paradoxically they totally resonate with this non-dual message, no separation already, you know, it's perfect as it is, and at the same time completely the opposite. And this is so obvious. And then, but you see, even this, like how you beautifully described this, plays out beautifully by itself. There is no Claire already directing the show or being able to jump into this or jump out. You see? It's just like the beautiful, it's just like I call it the dance. Like when the energy, you know, the energies are dancing with each other. And then is maybe dancing like this, and then the other time not anymore. And we can say, yeah, because out of experience, I already knew, yeah, blah, 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 blah. But this is the beauty, and there is nothing right or wrong with this. But the point here with the arrogance, when I was there with this friend and teaching blah and retreats, he was about everything is consciousness. And I loved it until I didn't. And then this was also like the lineage of Jiddu Krishnamurti, like how he was teaching and blah. I'm not into this. But at one point, it was very obvious here that we can say everything is consciousness or everything is bubblegum. So
Let's
complete
get it.
nonsense. So
Yeah.
and he was like they were in this spirituality bubble, calling spirituality, and it's all about consciousness, observing the observer, the observation, and the object. And this is in a way melting, and then there we are, no separation, you know. So it was like fragmented, and I
Mm,
resonated with, but then it was off, completely off here.
mm,
But I saw this enormous arrogance playing out there. Like,
mm,
okay,
mm,
so you are now here because
mm.
you're already ready for this, to listen to this. So we are better than the
Yeah,
rest.
there's a
You are not
hierarchy.
so. And this was for me the total no-go. Sorry, sorry, by all means. I couldn't, I was completely allergic to spirituality then, to consciousness, and like this
Yeah.
arrogance and attachment, like the attachment and the arrogance. This was like the complete, sorry,
Gosh.
sorry. And yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, Sylvan, my friend,
yeah,
he says, you know, if this needs to be so simple, anyone can understand it.
yeah, exactly.
If
But
there
he,
is,
well, here, my friend also said this. This is so, it must be simple so that everyone can understand this. Nevertheless, this played out, you know, with this in this, it's amazing. Like at the
yeah.
same time, everything was in it. I was like, what is this?
Well, you sort of feel a bit for the, you know, so-called teachers because they're just trying to catch up with the language that the so-called students are using. You know, I see this in the non-duality groups. People have all sorts of words and language for all of this stuff that I don't even know. It's the Indian scripture. So I suppose if somebody's coming to you with a question, you have to sort of be able to give an answer. So it gets more and more and more complicated. And, you know, the poor people like me who don't have a bloody clue what this all means, you think, oh, this is, they've got something that I don't get. I've never read the Bhagavad Gita. I don't,
Bhagavad Gita,
I've
me
never read it.
neither.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I haven't. So I feel like I'm missing out. You know, the door is closed to me. I'm never going to be enlightened. But that's sort of the danger, really, isn't it? You know, if you use language like that, people think that there's some secret club and that only some people have got access to. And
But let's get back to Sylvain.
oh,
What was with him like? He was saying like it must be simple. So for everyone.
yeah. I mean, I'm he's very, very, very good at explaining this in incredibly simple and loving language. Um, he just loves people.
Yeah.
And I think that's the language he speaks.
Yeah, exactly.
He,
Beautiful.
he
Beautiful.
yeah. So he'll speak your language, you know, right? Whatever you come to him with,
By
he
the
will.
way, I also love people. I love to connect. It's very direct. There is, of course, no choice here, you know? And it's beautiful when you said he loves people. Yeah, totally.
Mm. And
Get
I
it.
think actually that is the therapy. Yeah, I've got a good friend I've met on here, Anthony, and he's a therapist as well, and we talk a little bit about this. And he says that actually the therapy is building that relationship with yourself. It's having that love for yourself. But to have the love for yourself, sometimes you need the therapist's love to give you the love that, that unconditional. It sounds all nice and cuddly, doesn't it? But, actually it should be, because a lot of us didn't have that as kids. So we need to have that now to give ourselves that unconditional love that, sadly wasn't available. It's the reparenting.
Yeah, beautiful, sweetheart. And but you see here, just like uh life is plays out like this, like
Mhm.
resonating with a therapist or just wanting to dive deeper in, I don't know, what kind of stuff, or not, or just trying to get the next best car, boyfriend, business, in the wanting to just bullshit yourself in the outside or bullshit yourself in the inside. For me, it's the same already, it's just so beautifully playing out.
Mhm.
And of course, we don't want to suffer, of course. But I guess life, yeah, but how to explain the war if we don't want to suffer? What is this? Why is there war if we don't want to suffer, But there is always this yin yang, black white, the opposites. When there is freedom, of course, there must be also war.
Mhm. Well,
It's there is, you cannot, it's always the both, both sides. And this is in a way the beauty. Nothing is excluded. Um, Naturally so. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Peter,
beautiful.
how is it going with Sylvain now with your project well-being?
Very, very, yeah, it's fantastic. We had our workshop on Monday, which I told you about. I was really,
Yeah, thanks for
really,
sharing.
yeah, really encouraged by that response that we had to that. So yeah, we're doing another one at the end of February. We've got another workshop locally, and we're
Cool.
just we're just hoping that something about the energy, talking about it. It's not a sort of promotional thing at all. It's really just a
Nice.
love. You
Yeah,
know,
nice.
it's just a
Following your
love.
highest excitement, just loving to do this.
Yeah, I like that.
Beautiful.
That's a really
It's
nice
it's
way to
very
describe it.
creative. It's just also like that you're playing together with Sylvain. Also this the both of you. It's also like more, more. I love it to play with someone else in a way. It's
And it's
different.
quite it's rare to have met someone, in
Yeah,
real life who
beautiful,
kind of you can flow in this way with. It's
beautiful,
yeah, yeah.
beautiful, sweetheart. So, sweetheart, the time is running out, and I just want to thank you for this quickie, but it was perfect. I love it. So, the few things we
Rosa.
spoke about. I love you, and we
You're the
simply stay
best.
in touch.
Yeah.
Just wait a sec here.